Hey, I'm Elliot, and this is the Everything Elliot YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to like and subscribe below.
Alright, well today, you'll have to excuse me, I got the heat running in here, warming up a little bit. What we have behind me here is a 2020 Volkswagen Tiguan SE. Basically what happened was my wife and I had purchased one of these vehicles for her serve vehicle in 2019. We had bought it used with approximately 10,000 miles on it. Lo and behold, the vehicle had a leak somewhere. This was not discovered until after we had it, and we had it for about 6 months, and mold actually started growing in the floorboards and stuff underneath the car. The car was soaked. It always smelled moldy in there. So finally, the dealership found where the water was coming from. They said they couldn't repair it, and they'd have to buy back the vehicle. My wife is hung up on the Tiguan. So here is the vehicle that they gave us as a replacement. This is also a used unit. This is a 2020 though. We had a 2019. It's a 2020 with 10,000 miles on it, I think. No, I'm sorry, 20,000 miles on it. I think it was a rental unit. So basically, we're going to throw it up on the lift tonight. Take a look at it, see what it looks like underneath, see if there's any major damage underneath, see if anybody high-centered on anything. You know, you never know with these rental cars. Somebody can go through a parking lot, hit one of those giant rocks that are in the corner of the islands and stuff. So we're going to throw it up on the lift, see what it looks like, see what the brakes look like, see what the wheel bearings are like. So yeah, we'll show you how to rack this vehicle and how to put it up in the air. Thanks, stick around. Alright, so the 2020 Volkswagen Tiguan, we're going to rack it up here. I've already got the arms somewhat placed. The Volkswagen Tiguan here is it's called a unibody design, where the body actually acts as the frame of the vehicle. You know, you get into big trucks and stuff like that, they have a body over frame, where the frame is actually separate of the body. And when you're putting a car like this on the lift, it's completely different than setting like a truck on a lift. The truck, you're going to go right on the frame. It's super obvious. On cars like this, on the unibodies, you're actually going to go on the pinch weld. Well, I'll just show you. It'll be easy for you to see. Get my light set up down here. So, over here we have, this is called the pinch weld. It's where the body meets the undercarriage of the car. And on some cars, such as this one, you can actually see right here, there's a little indent in the plastic that's got an arrow on it. And that is the lift point of this vehicle. So you can actually see this pinch weld it's kind of doubled here. That's where they want to lift it. So you just want to get your lift arm just set right there, right where you need it. And you're going to repeat the process up front. Come over here, take a look. Again, there's our arrow again. See, I got the lift arm set right where it needs to be. I know it's tough to tell on this one, but it is doubled up there. It was snowing today. It's going to be kind of wet when I get under there, but yeah, just get the lift arm set. We'll double check the other side. We'll get this vehicle up in the air. Set that light down. So basically all I'm doing here is we're just going to give it a once over before we decide if this is going to be the vehicle that we want to take. Set you guys down. Alright, we're going to start moving up the vehicle. 6 to 8 inches off the ground. It's always a good idea to come over to the back of the vehicle, give it a good shake. Make sure that the vehicle is properly seated onto the car lift, and it's not going to go anywhere. So all you got to do is reach on the bumper, give it a little downward force to make sure it's on there. After that, you send the vehicle up the rest of the way. Bring your vehicle up in the air, you can hear those quick clap. Those are actually safety locks. Once you get the vehicle up in the air, it's always best practice to set that vehicle back down onto the safety locks. That way, it's mechanically held in by the lift and not held in by the hydraulic pressure of the rams. Alright, let's go take a look under here, see what it looks like. Grab a handy dandy light. So, brakes look good. I know it's kind of tough to tell from probably over the camera, but the pads look good. I guess that's good. Not a ton of wheel weights on the inside. It means the wheel balanced well, or it's not balanced at all. A little bit of oil leak, something here. I don't know if maybe they just changed the oil, and yeah, there's oil all over this car. I don't know if they just changed the oil. It's something I'll have to talk to the dealership about. If they had just changed the oil, and you know, the tech might have spilled some up top and now it's dripping all the way down, but that sure does seem like a lot. It actually seems kind of red to me. It seems kind of red. I don't know, it might be ATF, might be automatic transmission fluid. You know, it's a transverse motor, so this is the transmission over here. As you can see, the flywheel's here. But yeah, there's just a lot of oil under here. See, this is why I like having the car lift. And you know, before you purchase something, if they let you bring it home, it's always good to put something up on the lift, because if you were at the dealership, this is not something that you would have ever seen. I mean, unless you're crawling underneath it. It's always good to take a look. It's kind of like having a home inspection. These calipers are, the calipers are good. Pads are good. Rotors are a little scarred, but it's not bad. Yeah. This is all oil. This is all oil. Something is definitely not right under here. The car is leaking some sort of oil. Yeah, you can see how. So you can see how I was driving. We are in Western New York, so there's salt. You can see all the salt on the vehicle, and then over here, all of a sudden, you get to this giant wet spot that, you know, everything else is dry, but then underneath it's wet. It's because it's actually oil. All this. It's really bizarre. You know, for an almost brand new car. It's a 2020. I just can't see where the leak's coming from. You know, it could be anywhere. There's a million bolts. That's just snow falling off the roof. And everything back here looks good, as far as I can tell. But my wife is going to be bummed about the oil leak. You know, she really Really wants to get rid of that other car. Time's ticking on it. But I don't know if this car is going to be a winner unless they can find out what is leaking. So like this is, I mean, you could tell right here, this is, it's just a motor. This bolt right here is just a motor mount bolt that runs right here. I mean, you can see all this. That's all. It's red, so it's got to be ATF. You know, automatic transmission fluid. It's really bizarre. I mean, unless they're running red coolant in this car and it's leaking coolant. But it doesn't feel like coolant. It's slick like oil. I'm gonna set you guys down and have a better look underneath here. So I'm not seeing any other issues on this car besides the oil leak. However, that's a pretty major issue for a 2020. I know Volkswagen's got a great warranty. I think it's like 8 years, 80,000 miles, but is that really something you want to deal with when you first start? Hi. Camera. Too late, you're in it. Come on. Your hair looks fine. She says I gotta call a guy. So I gotta call a guy. Alright, well, as we found, the car's leaking a little bit of transmission fluid, which is not great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the car down a little bit. We're gonna check the bearings. Check the bearings in it. We're gonna pop the hood and see what the hood looks like. These are terrible tires. These are just regular street tires. Living in Western New York, you need minimum all seasons for the winter around here. So that'll have to be addressed. But, yeah, let's slow it down a little bit. So on the car lift, since we are sitting on the mechanical locks, you actually have to lift the car up a little bit to get it past the lock to pull the safety lever down, so we're going to do that. we'll check the bearings. I'll show you how to do that. So on a vehicle that you want to check the bearings on, you're going to come to the wheels. You're actually going to rock the wheels. You're going to grab on each side, top and bottom, and shake back and forth. If there's any play, it usually means you have a bad bearing. Keeping in mind though, up front, you actually have steering components up front. So obviously your front wheels, they go left and right, so it turns your car. So when you grab on the sides and you go left and right, if your tire moves left and right, that doesn't always mean that you have a bad bearing. You could have a bad tie rod end or fall through, something like that. So the front one to really check the bearing is going to be your top and your bottom. Although you might end up getting some ball joint movement out of that. So we're just going to do that quick. See if we get any movement. I'm not expecting any movement out of these. It does only have 20,000 miles, but I also would have said it's probably not going to be leaking transmission fluid. So let's see what we got going on. Like I said, you just grab the top and bottom, back and forth, no movement. No movement there. The same thing up front. Absolutely no movement on that one. I'm just going to do the other side quick. Alright, so vehicle's on the ground. I'm going to move the lights out of the way. We're going to take a look under the hood. See if there's any plastic on there. Let's take a look. Tough to do one-handed. Oh no, it's got gas shocks in it. Yep. It's an engine. There she is. Let's get the old light out again. Is this the dead one or the live one? I don't know what I would have did with the other one. So I'm just gonna look under here. Make sure there's nothing obvious that's pointing out. I don't even see a transmission. So they are running red coolant in this car. But like I said, the underneath it didn't feel like coolant. It felt like oil. So under the airbox is the transmission. It does have a transverse motor. That means the motor runs side to side rather than in your normal muscle cars runs front to back. So your belt and stuff is over here. There's your dipstick right there. So you can see down there is your belt. Alternators right there. So the car looks like it's pretty easy to work on. Wow, look at that. So this is your oil filter. It's a strange place for an oil filter. Normally they're underneath the car. It also looks like it's going to make a mess when I go to change the oil. Looks like the oil is just going to pour over and make a mess. Come down. Let's see if there is oil in it. That's good. It's always a good sign. Maybe that's just oil that's under there from last time they did the oil change or something. I don't know. It looks, I mean, I guess it could be, but man, what a mess. How is this? Oh, it locks in there. Oh, battery's going dead. Pot full of washer fluid, that's good. No doubt about that. Let's see if we can't find our other light. I'm the king of setting things down and forgetting where there it is. Forgetting where I put it. Yeah. I mean, besides the oil thing, I think we're in pretty good shape here, but that's definitely something that needs to be addressed. But other than that, what's going on here? The old magneto light. Let's see what I'm doing here. Is that just supposed to be tucked up in there? Yeah. Okay. Alright, well, I already spoke with the guy on the phone. Let him know that it needs to go into the shop. He actually told me that the service techs haven't even looked at it yet. They literally got it in, called us, and said, hey, if you want to take a look at this car, here it is. So I did call him on the phone and let him know that, you know, the oil issue that needs to be addressed. So he said they're going to actually take it back tomorrow. We're just doing a 24-hour kind of loaner thing. Yeah, so they're going to come get this tomorrow, and they're going to take it to the shop and let me know what they see. So, oh, huge life pro tip. Before you drive a car out of a car lift, make sure you take the arms and move them out of the way. And make sure that you double check both sides. Because you can get yourself in quite a pickle if you don't do that. Alright guys, well that's today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.